Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Mint, where we throw strikes and get likes, hit dingers, get listeners. Back again, another podcast. It is our favorite time of year where we get to talk about the Brew Crew on a regular basis. We are back talking daily, nightly, all the time, 24/7. It's just always a thing here at the Miller Park Minute. So we did take a brief moment to speak about wrestling last night. There were some pros and cons to that. Obviously, some people loved it, some people hated it. If you're in that camp, I totally understand. That being said, though, we are going to get into the topic at hand. There are two topics that I want to cover tonight in primary. We might add some stuff along the way, but two primary topics. So, as always, guys, we are on nightly now. In that 9 to 10 o'clock hour, 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. It just depends on how the night goes. So that being said, let's let you know we are on Spotify, Google, YouTube, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Rumble. Get ready to rumble. Uh, all the platforms, all the platforms. Like I said, we record nightly. If you want to join the Facebook group or go over to Twitter, Miller Park or Milwaukee Brewers and Miller Park Minute on Facebook. You can also go on Twitter and find me at Miller Minute on X. Uh, those are the places to get at me, to get in the comments. You can get in the comment section on YouTube, comments on Facebook, comments on Twitter. Wherever you want to go, I am here. I'm here for it. I will reply to any comments that I get. I appreciate each and every last one of those. So like I said, today we're going to talk about Brandon Woodruff. This comes from an article from our guy, Adam McKelvey. Adam McKelvey sat down with Brandon Woodruff, did Brewers beat on him, talked about basically his progress so far, where he's at. One of the things that I would say is it's always a long road when it comes to a pitcher, whether it's Tommy John, whether it's shoulder, whether it's any one of the many impingements and fractures, anything that a pitcher deals with. It's always touch and go, and it always takes a while. Now, Woodruff has spent the better part of the last year gone. He was actually injured before he was released last year and then re-signed. We signed him knowing he would be going into an injured season. So, Woody is our guy. Woody has been very good for the crew since he came up. Really like an ace. Had we not had Corbin Burns, Woody would have been the number one guy. He's 46-26 and starts with 3.10 ERA over the past 7 seasons with the Brewers from 2017 to 2023. He has 2 All-Star appearances, top 5 finish in the NL Cy Young voting in 2021. The good news here, so 2 good days ago when I said Woodruff would be back by June, I don't think I'm that far off on that topic, just based off of the fact that he's just starting to throw. He's throwing, basically it sounds like 2 days a week. He is throwing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Or no, I'm sorry, Tuesdays and Fridays. He's about to reach 30 pitches. Going into pitchers and catchers reporting, I think that's relatively low, but I guess I don't know what the standard offseason bullpen is. I did say when he traveled to Dallas, his surgeon Keith Meester told him he could have a normal offseason. So that's good news. I think next he's going to be hitting up Arizona and doing the thing, meeting with the prospects. He's going to get into that pitching lab. He seems to be doing everything he can, from what it sounds like. He's very fresh into this. This is 3.5 months from surgery. I'm sorry. At this time last year, he was 3 months out of surgery. So now he's a year and 3 months out of surgery. So it's a different ball game for him. He hasn't faced live hitters in 15 months. Actually, in the article, it said that he was thinking about doing it on the final homestand, but felt some tightness, I believe is what it was, or some sort of impingement at the time. So he did not. But he says, "Gosh, I feel good," is how they finish off the article. Brandon Woodruff getting to form is a huge piece for the Brewers. I think it goes without saying that we really could use him in the 2025 campaign. 2025 is going to have a slew of pitchers. Hopefully, not a lot of injuries to the pitchers. We did see that with Robert Gasser. I did want to quick review the injuries because that did pop up. So I wanted to talk about our injured list from last year real quick. Woodruff being one of the biggest keys to that, even though he was signed for that 2-year contract, knowing that he would be injured. So big number one on this list is Christian Yelich. We want to see Christian Yelich come back. After trying to rehab this injury for years now, it seems like he's been constantly rehabbing this injury and trying to get this right. He finally got surgery. Expects to have a healthy timetable for the 2025 campaign. Everything looked like it was going well. This is last updated October 4th. Woodruff, we just talked about. He signed the 2-year deal. We knew he was going to lose the first year. He reached a milestone on August 27th when he threw off the mound for the first time, but stressed he had a long way to go. He signed through 2025 with a mutual option for 2026. I guess I did not remember that. So that's good. That's last updated October 4th. A lot of these are October 4th. JB Backus, in case you guys don't remember, he was a reliever for us. He pitched just 12 innings when he was claimed off waivers and battled through multiple injuries. He was out for the season. Oliver Dunn's another one. He had back strain. He really just kind of fought it. He kept getting put deeper and deeper onto the lists of IL. So we should expect to see him back in the start of 2025. Robert Gasser is another one, left flexor strain. The Brewers' number 6 overall prospect opted to go for surgery. Tommy John, he expects to come back. And obviously he would be a big key remaining piece of the Josh Hader trade. So that being said, let's move right along into this. I read a lot of stuff today in preparation for today's episode. Just got a little bit of smattering of everything, and I came across one article that burned my bridges a little bit. I think you guys know, and I spoke about the 2025 season. I was saying how the Brewers the NL Central didn't make too many changes. The Brewers didn't lose too much. I think that we're not going to lose anything. And then this article slaps me in the face today. Now, this is 2 days old, but of course, there's articles about the Cubs are going to make the next massive splash. Just stuff like that. I don't foresee that. I don't see the Cubs doing a big thing here. But there's two different sides to every coin, I guess. Everybody's got their own opinions. Who's the next major trade candidate? Sorry, I did not have this one. I think it was on Brew Crew Ball. Sorry, this one was not fresh and ready. But one of the things this article did say was basically The Cubs, by getting Kyle Tucker, made a big difference. Kyle Tucker is a great player, but I don't think that is the end all be all for the Cubs. Now, if the Cubs sign, I can't think of I don't remember the pronunciation, but the Japanese player that is declared Saki. If they sign him, maybe then I'd be some concern. But I don't foresee that's. I don't see that as the end all be all for the Cubs. The Cubs still have a long way to go. They don't have the established young stars like the Brewers do. I mean, the Cubs have some guys that have been around for a while, but they don't have those stars that the Brew Crew actually has. And I had it on my phone, and of course, my phone is the camera, so I'm not going to be able to directly call out where I read this article. The zips are out. If you guys are stat nerds, zips is always fun to read. But let me tell you, I am not the best at translating. I don't sit here and study stats all day long. I can't do that. I more go off what I can read on a paper and tell you off my gut. It's just got to mentally click. The numbers and everything have to mentally click. I'm not a big reading about FIP, X, X war, W war, all these things. War is a great stat. I'm not discrediting the stats. I'm just saying I'm not stat head. If you're looking for a good stat head, Dom Catronio is a good follow on Twitter. He's a friend of the show. Always worth a follow, worth a listen. I guess I didn't know. Is there comments on Twitter? I don't. These are things I don't know. If you're watching me on Twitter and you comment, I don't know if it shows up in my feed here or if I actually have to be on the Twitter. Like Facebook, I have to be on the Facebook to see it. So, I don't know. I've got it up there. 2 views. Okay. So we are learning the cross-platform stream services. The other thing I wanted to mention though is I don't think the Cardinals made enough moves. I mean, if you look across the board, if I go on trade rumors right now, which I live on trade rumors in the offseason, I think a lot of my friends and fans of the show tell me the same thing. We kind of live and die with the trade rumors, right? And if let's just do it, just so people can understand. Like the Chicago Cubs, Kyle Tucker's really been the main interest. It says they're interested in Yoan Moncada, which we should be as well. They're look at latest on Jack Flaherty. Okay, they're mentioned in that article. Caleb Thebar. I mean, they haven't done a lot. They've taken some of the coaches that formerly worked with Craig Counsell. I mean, if that's anything, who cares? Like, I don't know. I just don't see anything there outside of a Kyle Tucker trade. Until you sign some players, intent is nothing. Signings are everything. And the same could be said for the Brew Crew. I mean, intent is everything. Signings. The nice part with the Cardinals, though, is the Cardinals have lost at this juncture Paul Goldschmidt. You know what I mean? He's currently not a Cardinals, so that's huge for us. Oh my Lord. I think the teams like Cincinnati and the Pirates are a little bit more dangerous overall, just because they have a lot of young guys. You know, you got Paul Skeens over on the Pirates organization. Kutch is back as a Pirate, which is great for them. I believe, nope, Aroldis Chapman did not return to the Pirates. I was going to say, did Aroldis Chapman return? But he did not. I think he went to Boston, if I'm correct. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing outside of that I see as a barn burner move. Oh, Gavin Lux did go to the Reds the other day. That's right, Wisconsin kid went to the Reds. Owen White. In exchange for cash. Holy Milner is it the Reds organization? Okay. Well, they got Jose Trevino as well from the Yankees. I'm just digging into this. I really don't think there's anything to this. When I read an article like that, I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I've got to go back and see if I missed something. You know what I mean? Like, does that ever hit you? You like see an article or a headline and you're like, what did I miss that this person is saying that or that person's coming out with that? My only question is St. Louis, I guess, at this juncture. What did St. Louis do that I don't know about? Did St. Louis do something? If you're live, put it in the comments. St. Louis Cardinals. Let's see here. Nolan Arenado is willing to be traded. I think that speaks volumes about the Cardinals. They're still rebuilding. It's kind of funny. Like this has been a long tenured time of Cardinals rebuilding their team. And to me, it's a beautiful thing because how many times were the Cardinals ahead of us and how many times were they in the top of the division? I mean, it was years and years and years of watching Brewers baseball, and the Cardinals sat atop our division forever. I see more things on Cardinals trading Nolan Arenado than I see anything else related to the Cardinals. So that tells me our division isn't that much better. That tells me this article is total crap. Crapola. When you look at articles, you also have to look at the source. You have to you have to see what they're saying, where they're bearing the lead here. And actually do some research. I wanted to look at Forbes Milwaukee Brewers. Because you know, I love to look at these. What Forbes says about the Milwaukee Brewers and what they did last year. This is usually a separate entity for me, but I was just in that space. So now the team is currently worth March of 2024. They're saying 1.6 billion. Your purchase was 2005. Price paid 223 million. Revenue again as of March of 2025 is 320 million. So the thing that I always tell people when I look at these pages is they're concerned with the revenue, and the reason we aren't talking about a million Brewer signings right now is because of the TV deals. Now, as I told you the other day, FanDuel, i.e. the Old Valley, i.e. Diamond Sports, the same group that's owned it, the same group that's run it, nothing's going to change there. That revenue is not guaranteed at this juncture, and they're still worried about payments and things like that. Basically, the Brewers organization and a lot of the other organizations outside of like the Dodgers and the Yankees, all the big market teams basically have their own networks that are run by them. So they're saying player expenses as of 2024 were 146 million. Now, when they say that, typically what that means is basically you're looking at that's old players that still have like residuals left on their contract. I think up until last year, Aramis Ramirez was still getting paychecks. I think Ryan Braun has some paycheck, some deferred money in there. It's pretty common when you talk about an organization. Yeah, and again, this is the 2024 numbers, so we won't see these numbers update till May. But that's okay. That's just getting the baseline. Or March. I want to see if there's anyone out there that's done a MLB power rankings. Oh, another thing, I always like to update the top 10 right now. Is right. I always like to talk about those. The top 10 right now for center fielders included our very own Garrett Mitchell, the guy who hasn't played. Remember, I talked on and on about how he hasn't played much. They talked about the fact that he's number 8. So I think that's a good thing. I think that proves to the point that I was talking about. So, power rankings and where every team stands in the new year. So this is the ESPN one. I've always liked the ESPN one because they give us a little bit of detail. Los Angeles Dodgers are a clear number 1. I don't think anyone else can argue that. The Philadelphia Phillies, Yankees at number 3, Mets at number 4, Braves at number 5, Baltimore at 6, Arizona at 7, Boston at 8, Padres at 9, Cleveland at 10, Houston at 11, Chicago Cubs at number 12. That's interesting. First NL Central team is the Cubs. Ugh. What do they say about the Cubs? The Cubs have the look of the old San Francisco teams where they're really good at playing low-scoring games, but have better bullpen performance to play out the season. They were 12th in bullpen ERA, 3.81 mark must be an improvement. That's by Buster only. So after the Cubs, we've got Kansas City, Detroit, Seattle, then Milwaukee coming in at number 16. Why are they saying 16? That doesn't make any bloody sense. Milwaukee, in some ways, the Tampa Bay Rays of the NL Central. We are the Milwaukee Brewers of the NL Central. We're not the Tampa Bay Rays. Bullshit. Consistently feeling good. Teams, despite resource challenges, repeating a division championship will be difficult for the Brewers. However, the loss of Willy Adames and Devin Williams, both top 10 players at their respective positions, Buster only. Well, screw you, Buster. Screw you, man. All right, let's see if anybody else has got us a little higher. Come on. Somebody's got to have us a little higher. Let's see. Okay. Nothing there. Okay. We'll go to fan side and see what they got to say. Oh, Roki Sasaki. Roki Sasaki is the guy's name. The Japanese player that's declared that they have until the 24th, I believe, is the deadline date. Previously reported the Cubs, Padres, Giants, Mets, Yankees, and Rangers were all in. It said in total, in the article I read, it said 20 teams in total. So 20 teams in total is all but 10 teams. And it said a mystery team was a contender for Sasaki. Okay, so according to this, they're saying power rankings producing. Okay, this tricked me. I'm not gonna lie. So they're saying power rankings of teams that could get Sasaki. So they've got 5 Los Angeles Angels, 4 Seattle, 3 Milwaukee Brewers, 2 Arizona Diamondbacks, and 1 Atlanta Braves. So this basically says if Milwaukee is quietly among the most consistently competitive franchises of the last decade, especially considering the budget they've operated under. A key factor for the Brewers' rise has been its ability to develop starting pitchers Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns, and Freddie Peralta. Just 3 recent examples, with Jackson Churio headlining exciting young core. This team could rule the NL Central for years to come if leaving the West Coast isn't an object for Sasaki. There's a lot to like here. So they're saying he's a potential. Now that's a fan-sided article, so fan-sided always isn't the end-all be-all. But here we go, the MLB's official power rankings. This is always one I like because it comes from all the writers of MLB. And we're gonna go right down the list. Dodgers number 1, go figure. Phillies number 2, Braves number 3, Padres number 4, Yankees number 5, Orioles, then Mets, Astros, Brewers coming in at number 9. See, MLB knows where it's at. This felt like a blessed year for the Brewers, at least until the NL Central Wildcard Series started. Still, it's difficult to be upset about a season in which you lose your star manager, your star pitcher, and get better. Looking ahead to 2025, the Brewers have plenty of questions, but so does everyone else in the NL Central. Bam. Right there. Right there. Let's just see how far down the Cubs rank in this one. All right, number 10, Guardians. Number 11, Diamondbacks. Number 12, Tigers. Number 13, Royals. 14, Mariners. 15, Red Sox. 16, the Cubs. They got us switching place with the Cubs, basically over ESPN, which is great. That is freaking great, guys. Like, all right, somebody's got some positive vibes. I always want to be the underdog when it comes down to them ranking and power ranking us. The reason I look at them is because I want us to be underdogs. I want us to be unexpected. I want us to come out of nowhere and be good. When all the projections come out, I like when we are the underdog. I like when we are underrated, because that just makes it all that much more bittersweet when the Brewers win the NL Central, when the Brewers go to the next round of the playoffs. It's all more bittersweet. It can't get any more bittersweet than those things. And I really enjoy it. I do, at the end of the day. Like, guys, tickets are going on sale for spring training. Brewers and pitchers and catchers report. They haven't had any inkling, any posts of an event coming for the Brewers. They do their tailgate event for 2025. They haven't posted anything like that, but that doesn't mean that they aren't coming. They aren't doing it. It just isn't there quite yet. I feel like I'm remiss to not talk about the standings and how we finished the 2024 season to wrap up my discussion about this article, this burning article in my head. I can't help it. I can't get it out. Like, I read this and I was like, all right, I have to podcast about this. I have to talk about this. 10 games, guys. We won the division by 10 games. 93 and 69, and the Cardinals are 83 and 79. The Cubs are also 83 and 79. Did they make enough moves to get 10 games better? Did they have enough unanswered questions? They got Kyle Tucker, but they also traded away Cody Bellinger. So, I mean, what's the ad replacement value there? Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates are, are they much better? Their young core is probably getting better, but does that mean they're better than us? Not yet. Not yet, guys. Not yet. Lots of ads for season tickets. Of course, you guys know all that good stuff. I'm just trying to make sure I covered all my bases today and everything that I read and that I want to talk about. If you guys are enjoying this new format of live sessions, please let me know. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Join in the conversation. We will always, always, always be here to answer any questions. I enjoy this podcast. I enjoy being here, speaking to you guys. I have been doing this now for 5 years, 5 long years. And let me tell you, like, it hurt me last season to not be a part of this and to not do this week in and week out, day in and day out, to not get on the microphone and talk about my favorite team. It was just a lot of life and a lot of personal stuff that kind of held me back from where I was for the long and short of it. And that's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to take your personal time too. I mean, no one expects you to be perfect 24/7. What else do we got? Do we got any other content that I want to discuss before I go? I did mention we are back on the audio podcast platforms. Please drop a like, drop a sub. If you're on Spotify, particularly for my Spotify listeners, I need more followers on the Spotify platform. So if you listen on audio and you like to use Spotify, or you have a Spotify account but you watch the YouTube videos, please do go back and make sure to subscribe to me on Spotify as well. It just helps the algorithm, helps me out when it comes to everything like that. And if you haven't already, go back and view the back catalog and view some of my predictions. I still did predictions last year. That's like one of the main shows that I did. I'm still working, and I probably won't have it done till the end of the month. I'm still working on the list of places that you will be able to watch and or listen to the Milwaukee Brewers for the 2025 season. That is coming up. We did prediction episode number 1. We're also going to be talking about the best games of 2024 in the upcoming weeks here. We are going to rank the top 25 games to go back and rewatch from the 2024 season. So we're going to do a little trip down memory lane, revisiting old games. And then I also have a list of top 10 Brewers games of all time to get hyped, including games of 163. Those are all upcoming future episodes. We're going to keep coming with power rankings. Usually Tuesday is about the day the power ranking. I think it's Tuesday. Tuesday used to be the day the power rankings come out. So we'll talk about those. We've got What the Chuck coming. I did look to see if there was a new episode for What the Chuck. Lockdown. Let's see if he's got one. But What the Chuck will be probably airing tomorrow if he uploads an episode tonight. Let's see. Baseball podcasts are back, by the way. If you listen to any other baseball podcasts, they are back on Baseball Today. Talking Baseball had an episode this week, so no, he's not done one in 7 days. He really gives up towards this time of year. Oh my gosh. It's funny. All right, guys. That's what I got for you tonight. No more rambling for me tonight. I appreciate you guys listening. Like I said, talked about Brandon Woodruff tonight. Got a little into the weeds with some of these articles. I just read this stuff and it fires me up to want to talk about it. Um, I would really love to have conversations, and maybe this is a future topic or future idea, but I'd love to have conversations with some of these authors and see where their heads are at and where they're coming through these particular things. Because let me tell you, when I see that, first of all, I feel most of these authors write these things for clickbait, and maybe I'll talk to my buddy Tyler, who's a writer, and see how clickbaity that whole mentality is, because I don't feel like you guys want the clickbait articles. I don't try and do clickbait titles. I try and give you a title that I'm actually going to talk about. So that's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Remember to like, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you in the next episode. This is Eric with the Minute Park Minute, where we throw strikes and get likes, hit dingers and get listeners. You guys have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.